Hello everyone, Andrew here with Website Boss, and today I'm here to talk about shadows. Shadows are really important within the Divi builder because what they can do is they can create a more subtle effect, they can create a more 3D effect for an element. You can put them on buttons, you can put them on pretty much any element, rows, columns, etc. and of course text. So I'm going to show you guys an example of how box shadows work, at least in this case for this row, and then we'll also show off some text stuff and button stuff as well. So you simply go to design within your row settings. For example, this is going to make a shadow on this blue box, and we have all these different pre-built options which look not too bad, within reason, but we are here to actually customize it to be the way that, to be honest, a lot of Website Boss elements will use, within our sites, because it's sort of part of our signature style, I guess. And yeah, to show off how simple that is, I'm going to select this third one here. So we have the horizontal position, vertical position, blur strength, and spread strength. As you can imagine, horizontal position moves it left and right. We're going to put that back to 0 though. Vertical position moves it up and down, of course. The blur strength is how many pixels basically it spreads out and bleeds through. So if you go like that, obviously it's like just a straight shadow. As you then push the strength out, personally, I really like it to be the blur strength to be quite high up. But then the final thing is the spread strength, which, as you can see, basically amplifies or de-amplifies the actual shadow size. So what a lot of people will do is they'll actually have a big blur strength and then put the spread strength actually back quite far. So then it kind of looks like it's this small shadow under the element. You can see in the corners here, they're actually not coming through with the shadow. Then the shadow color, bumping it up to this would be a monumental mistake in my opinion, but that's just me. As you can see, you've got full colored ones. And what we usually go for is we bring the transparency all the way down, pretty much between 0.5 and 0.2, because anything more and it starts to get a little bit too obvious. You've got to be very, very careful with that, believe it or not, but you can have a shadow that's just too much. Then we can also edit this text. Let's just bump up the text size a little bit here so it can be seen a bit easier. All right, and then we'll make the color white because that is important. We go down to text shadows here, where we similarly have all these different elements. I personally, again, like this one, but pushing it down the vertical length and the horizontal length to make it kind of a pretty subtle. Actually, it's actually kind of a harsh shadow. Actually, it's not really subtle, but you can make it subtle if you were to bring the color all the way down. So, for example, it's like barely. It almost looks like it's like indented. So again, similar principles where you can make the blur strength, see what happens. I don't really like it too much like that. It looks a bit glowy in kind of an old school web design way. I actually prefer them more like that, kind of bring it in. You can also change the color, as you can imagine. Ooh, isn't that just gorgeous? No. All right, let's go. Actually, I don't mind it. Sort of the dark purple looks pretty cool. And then yeah, bring it back in. And that is how you style text. So again, try this out yourself. Try it out for size, see what happens. If you want to go for a real trippy effect, you can really bring it. That just looks like nightmare fuel, but what can I say? Everyone has their preferences here. And then we can also edit buttons because, as you can see, there is a box shadow element sort of preset within this element. So there's a lot of stuff you can do. You can really add a shadow to practically everything. You should be trying it out yourself and seeing what can and can't add shadows. Of course, not everything looks good with the shadow, but in this case, I actually forgot to mention that we can have an inner shadow here, outer or inner. Go inner shadow like this, and then all of a sudden you've got this really cool, it's almost like a 3D button. See what I mean? I actually really like that. Be cool if you could, and actually there are hover elements which I hadn't actually talked about. But for example, you could add a hover element to this, and then as you click on it, it'll either change See? Or you could actually change the color by selecting the hover element and then changing to that. So for example, almost looks like you've pushed it down or something like that. But yeah, let's go outer shadow as well. I actually like doing it like this. If you want to go for like that poppy 90s sort of vibe, what you can do 100% is just go like this, bring it in, and then you've got this giant shadow in the background. It doesn't work on every side, of course, but it does. I mean, yeah, in this particular element, I think it actually looks pretty cool. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back with plenty more in the future. See you then.